Ay, ay, ay.
Thanks for the 10 seconds of silence, Alejandro.
Ah, fuck. You made me watch something
And
on.
we are live.
So did you go fuck yourself?
No, Bilal, hold on. You got to wait till I say something to cause you to say go fuck yourself.
Yeah, be a good boy.
No, I'm doing it preemptively.
All right, fair enough. Welcome to the 29th episode of the Mixed Martial Links podcast. I'm your host, Ben Cohn, and with me tonight. Yeah, that's right. I said tonight because we're recording this at 10:30 p.m.
Yes, this almost didn't happen.
Yeah, we made it happen, though.
Yeah, thank you.
It's Alejandro. It's Bilal. It's late as fuck for Bilal and a little bit earlier for Alejandro. We got shit to talk about, so we're going to do it right away. Anthony Ruiz Jr.
Anthony, it's Andy.
What?
It's Andy.
Oh, you're right. Andy Ruiz. Sorry.
Oh, you motherfucker. Didn't even get the name, bro.
Andy Ruiz Jr. Sorry.
Let's call him Antonio from now on.
Actually, it's Andres Pants Ruiz Jr. Is a Mexican professional boxer who has been the unified WBA, WBO, IBO, and IBF heavyweight champion since June 1st of 2019. Wow. Like, Jesus Christ. Wow. So I don't know how many of you watched the fight, but if you didn't, you missed out on one of the biggest upsets in boxing history in terms of odds, I would say. It's one of the biggest.
Expectation and odds.
Yeah, like, like, what the hell, man? Like,
nobody gave this guy a chance. But you know who gets to say I told you so today, of all days? Yeah, and also Teddy Atlas, because he was the only pundit that I saw that gave him a chance, a fighting chance.
Interesting. Well, I mean, Teddy Atlas does kind of know his shit when it comes to boxing. You can't deny that.
He knows some things about.
Yeah, he's been around for a little bit.
But he said like that he had a shot and that this is why upsets happen. How upsets happen, and it was like, what the shit, Teddy?
Everyone was like, Teddy, you're drunk. Go home. And he's like, no, you're wrong. You go home.
No, you're drunk.
Well, what did he do? He
beat the fuck out of Anthony
Johnson. It's so funny. So the first two rounds, like, it's just Johnson kind of not. It's just Joshua. Sorry, we said Anthony Johnson, by the way. Anthony Joshua, because we were just talking about Rumble actually right before the podcast.
He was better at MMA than Joshua is at boxing.
So Joshua, I mean, he kind of just like it wasn't a high volume couple.
No, rounds. Actually, it was a very strange. I know I always say strange, but I keep finding strange things here. It was an odd performance because he didn't lead with a jab, and he actually was throwing from his hip. Did you notice that? Like, he was throwing he was looking for the perfect shot to put this guy down for at least 3 rounds, for 2 rounds and then the beginning of the 3rd round. But in those first 2 rounds, he kind of gave them away, and he didn't have a work rate. He was trying to one-shot the guy. Like, I mean, by any and all measure, Anthony Joshua is a pretty good boxer, wouldn't you say? Like, he's a good boxer.
He's the question.
Yeah, he has an Olympic gold medal, a long amateur career, and though a bit protected, he's a pretty good boxer for heavyweight standards. So he showed up flat-footed and not having any kind of work rate and throwing a jab from the hip.
Well, I mean, if you've watched his past couple of fights, you kind of see this kind of coming through a little bit.
I know, but
he's struggled with pressure historically, and a lot of the thing is that so basically it seemed like he was trying to counter catch Ruiz with the counter coming in, like you said, the perfect shot, and trying to bait him in, and Ruiz was kind of not having any of it. And then in the 3rd round, he drops like the first couple punches that Joshua committed to. He drops Ruiz like hard.
Actually, it was a beautiful 2-punch combination. Like, it was like an uppercut and then followed by a left hook.
Yep, that left hook. So Then Joshua's like, all right, I'm closing the show, and he gets dropped.
Well, he got, but that what's interesting is how he got dropped, because he got dropped in the middle of an exchange.
Oh yeah,
against,
trying to do the same. He was trying to kind of swarm Ruiz to try
and
close the show.
He wasn't having it. Like, he did not expect the Doughboy to be as fast as he was. And he's
not at all. And Ruiz has fast hands. Like if you go watch if you go watch his previous fight footage, the dude's got fast hands, and I mean really.
He knows how to move. He knows how to move very well. His footwork is really good. I wouldn't say
he's a good boxer. He's a really good boxer.
And he's also a pretty decent counter puncher.
Not decent. I would say very solid. Like a really solid counter puncher for, especially at heavyweight. Like, you know, that's impressive.
He kept it a steady work rate. And
the thing is that he was operating obviously in bursts. He was waiting for Joshua to open up. And each time Joshua would commit, he would basically just flurry on him, and Joshua had to cover up. And Joshua was not – I don't know if he was concussed after the first one, but if he seemed to fight that way. Like he was clearly after the second one. He was clearly – yeah, he was badly hurt after the second knockdown.
Did you see there's a video rolling around, making the rounds on Twitter, where Anthony Joshua asks his corner, "Why do I feel this way?"
That's never a good sign.
I know, because you're fucking concussed, son. You need to step away. But he kind of didn't see it coming, and he came so close after dropping the guy, so he went like, okay, I'm gonna close the show. Then boom, 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 boom. He was down. I'm like, holy shit, what happened? And then he's up, and then the round goes for a little longer, and this guy keeps getting closer, closer, closer. And then you kind of realize that all of this was work he put in the first two rounds. So then he can sort of close in on Joshua by the second half of the third round whenever he wants, because he also dropped him. So he drops him again, and he gets up like very, very, like, he's not steady, this man. So, and then the clock saves him, right?
Yeah.
And then we get three more.
The clock really did save him.
Yeah, and then we get three more rounds of Ruiz just slowly, steadily creeping into Joshua's comfort zone and just jabbing the body, jabbing the chest, punching the body often during tie-ups. Then he's throwing hooks. Then he's like exchanging, like punching through Joshua's guard. Like a lot of good punches went like unmentioned by the how do you say comentaristas? The commentators.
Commentators.
I forgot my English. Yes, so it was kind of a very technical performance from a guy that nobody gave much of a shit about except Teddy Atlas, who pretty much called this. Like, he knew he was on this level, and he called Joshua out before any of this. It's odd because I don't know if something was wrong with Joshua going into this fight. But he
no, I don't think there's anything wrong. I think it was more just the
type of fighter that fucks him up showed up.
The issues he's had kind of showed up, and in a big freaking way, you know.
Also, like the just going from 100 to almost zero in an instant. Like, he had the guy on his ass, and then some seconds later, he's on his ass, and he's like, "What the fuck is happening?"
Yeah, he was literally smiling. Like the first knockdown kind of had him like, "Well, haha, okay, fine," and then he just gets blasted again. He's like, "Fuck."
Yeah, like, kudos to him. Like, he fought pretty much till his body couldn't hold him up. Like,
pretty much, yeah. He got knocked down four times, I believe.
Yeah, and then
in the seventh round, it was just he was done.
Yeah, and it's
can't argue with that. Like, it was the right call to.
No, it was. And the sad part for him is that he was asked, "Can you continue?" And he said yes. And then the referee motions him, because, you know, in boxing, when you get dropped,
yeah, they make you walk forward. Yeah.
They immediately beckon you, like, "Come over here, tell me how you feel." And Joshua stood up, went to a corner, and just rested for a little bit. And that's like, bad sign. Like the first half of that whole sequence is Joshua standing up from an 8 count, walking to a corner, and then just resting there. He doesn't have his mouth guarded. So the referee approaches him and asks him, "Are you okay?" And he says, "Yes." And then he beckons him, like, "Come here, because I'm gonna give you your mouthpiece." And then he sort of pauses, and you can see him take like a sigh, like, and then the referee sees him, and then he stops the fight. And Joshua is like, "Whoa, what happened here?" But yeah, like, it was a good call. Like, you could see that something was amiss. And yeah, I mean, live to fight another day, but I wouldn't do it. I would be a fucking millionaire by now. Like, why would I need to fight?
I mean,
Ego.
yeah, I don't know. I mean, he hasn't even talked about a rematch necessarily.
No, he on the post-fight interview, press or whatever that he did say that he wanted a rematch, like an immediate rematch. And so, and Eddie Hearn is also pushing for that. They want.
So you're saying he's obsessed?
Yeah.
So you're saying he's obsessed?
You could say that. He's obsessed. I've never seen him like this way. But yes, I mean, why wouldn't you be? If you were like on top of the world one moment, and then suddenly like the most innocuous looking person on the planet, and that's true. He's the most. You don't feel a threat from this man, from Andy Ruiz. You look at him and you say, "Oh, hello there. How are you doing?" And you expect him to say, "I am fine. How are you doing?" But that's not what happened to Joshua. He just got his ass beat. I mean, I can imagine what he's feeling right now.
You don't either, but yeah. Congratulations to Andy Ruiz Jr.
Oh.
You've earned that shit. Like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Joshua also, by the way, was super, super, super humble. So
he was super sweet even before the fight. He let Andy hold his 4 belts and take a picture with him.
That was a bad foreshadowing.
Well, you want to know what's bad foreshadowing? He took a picture with fucking Drake, and then he was like, "I will break the Drake curse," and like,
That
no,
was bad. It was real bad.
no, you don't. The Drake curse.
You kind of fucking deserve it for taking a picture with Drake. Anyway, let's move on. We're going to talk about the UFC card that just happened. Gustafsson was submitted by Anthony Smith, and in the 4th round, after losing 2 of those rounds, winning the 3rd, and then losing the 4th up until that point too, I would say.
Yeah.
And then retiring.
Out of the blue. But you could...
But don't worry, guys. He was a winner of the night.
Oh, I know what you're doing. You're a bad, bad man.
Don't worry, guys.
You asshole. No, I mean, yeah. I was moving on. I was surprised at the fact that Smith apparently said in the leading up to the fight that no game plan, just go out there and fight, and apparently it worked for him. Like, you can see that he has no.
Well, I mean, like I kind of mentioned it to a friend of mine who was watching with the show there, that Gus wasn't really fighting Smith the way you need to fight him at the start.
Yeah, it's called
because. Well, not just pressure. You give him something to worry about.
I mean, like, you can't just walk forward at Smith. We saw that with Shogun. I'm talking about, like, we've seen Gustafsson pressure effectively. So what he needed to do was pressure with volume, and Smith generally will shell up or wildly fire back.
Yeah, I don't think it's just pressure. I think it's just volume, because for the first 2 rounds, Gus didn't really open up that much. He just kind of, threw in a couple leg kicks, bounced around on the outside, did the weird moving thing.
God, he's so bad.
Yeah, like
fighting. He's so bad at it.
Who?
Gustafsson.
No, he used to be good at it, but I think his confidence really took hits.
At outfight?
Good at outfighting.
Oh no, not. He's not by other divisional standards. He's not that good at it. Like, almost every other division has someone better at it than him.
Effective pressuring and using the clinch and interjecting.
Well, the clinch,
takedowns.
but he's not really that good at pressuring either in a technical sense. And at light heavyweight, Jan Blachowicz is a better outside boxer.
But he's had far more success doing so.
Oh, but that's just because it's MMA. People have success pressuring all the time because, I don't know, MMA. There's not that many good counter punches.
Why the hell would he freaking be an outfighter then? And it's not.
No, but my point is, with Smith, you see him kind of crumble once you give him a lot of things to think about. And Gus was sort of doing that with the feints, but he wasn't really backing up the feints that much. So Smith didn't have that mental pressure on him.
Yeah, he felt comfortable.
Until he started opening up more, but then he opened up more and then fucked up for that takedown.
The third round was very clearly Gustafsson's.
Yeah, I think he had.
But the problem is also that Gustafsson seemed. First of all, I don't know what the hell he was doing with that trip. Secondly, I don't know why he thought he was Zabit.
I can't remember ever seeing him go for that trip in another fight though either.
Yep, he went for it more times in his entire life than he's gone for it in his entire career.
He probably gets it a lot in training.
Has he? Because he's literally never used it before.
But that's okay. Obviously, I'm hypothesizing, but that's where you get confidence to try something like that. Clearly,
but he didn't drop his hips lower than Smith's. He kind of still stood tall.
He's also in a light fight.
So he's still.
If you're gonna fuck it up sometime, that's the place you fuck it up.
I guess.
Well, it's you know what it's like. It's when
his back issues are the problem though, because he's usually a guy who. I do think it's important to note that Gustafsson kind of has become more and more of an outfighter as time has gone on, and I don't understand. I don't think it's coincidental. I think a lot of it might have to do with his back issues, because he also doesn't really shoot for takedowns either anymore. When he used to shoot for them a lot,
also the damage he's accruing over time.
I think it's more.
Yeah, but
I'm talking about specifically the damage to his back.
Not just the back. The clearest transformation has been post Rumble. I mean, you didn't really see him turning his back that much before, and after the Rumble KO, he was like straight up turning his back and jogging away at exchanges. Like his confidence must took a massive hit.
I mean, I can find justification for that, like at least not a technical one, because the work it takes for you to turn your entire body and move another direction and then turn around again, like it's a lot of wasted effort there. So
it's a shit response. Like there are some people who we've seen it blow up against fighters. Did I cut out? No, I was gonna say it's a shit response. Like we've seen it blow up against fighters against actually good pressure fighters before.
Yeah.
Like I think Junior Dos Santos against Stipe Miocic is good.
Stipe is more of a pressure fighter. Yo, Bilal, what's up with your mic?
I don't know. Anyways, the first time I saw that thing fail was when Chris Horodecki was kicked, I think, by Anthony Njokuani, I think. A long time ago in the WEC. Anybody? Well, maybe you don't remember.
No, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, that's what the first time I saw it, and that's the first time I thought, yeah, that's not a valid course of action if you're in the middle of a cage fight, especially not when someone is lanky. But somehow,
definitely,
that seems to have survived somehow. Like in Gustafsson, you see it. You see it in Conor McGregor. I can't find other people doing it. Like, I think I want. What? Well, that's a cliffhanger.
What did you say, Bilal?
I know he dropped like a.
Over him. Yeah, my signal cut out.
Over him. He does it too. I don't know, like I can find just those three people that rely on it.
Connor's done it.
Yeah, Conor, Overeem, and Gus. That's the three people that you can expect to do that.
Elias, I think, has done it like once.
Yeah, but
he's the exception to everything.
No, yeah, but Elias, I give him more of a little bit more of a breathing room in there because he has incorporated things around it. Like there's a lot of bait and switch with him. Even in his developmental stage, like he has built a lot of bait and switch like maneuvers into things, and one of them is like just spinning around doing something. When he turns his back, when it looks like he's running, like maybe it's not the best plan in the world, but it's a plan.
Well, it's clearly not the best plan, but yeah, he's definitely incorporated a bit more. The rest just seem to kind of jog away and then reset.
Yeah, he's not like running away, is the point. Like you can clearly see when someone is trying to reset in the wrong way. Maybe Elias is guilty of doing that a little bit, but it's more like he has some kind of plan around it. It's not like this is how I reset. Like
Well, I'll never call what he does the technical right way because it's not really, but he still has workarounds.
In MMA, it's very difficult to have a technical anything.
No, but there's still like things like don't turn your back to an opponent because if they track you down, you can't counter.
Yeah, yeah, when you put it like that. Yeah, but MMA is kind of like the breeding ground of weirdness. Like you can make something unworkable work at least once, and then it sort of becomes like a rule that people just keep abusing.
Well, yeah, there's no rules. There's only guidelines.
There you go.
That's great.
But what I'm still kind of salty about the whole trip thing. Like, it's sort of, that Weidman Rockhold thing where we see him do a technique that he's never ever done, and he's clearly not that comfortable with because he can't get it right, and it just fails horribly.
Yeah, it literally backfired on him super fast. Like, and Anthony Smith has like on the DL, but he kind of has really good grappling.
He's a black belt.
Why? Well, not all black belts are created equal.
No, but he's a light heavyweight black belt. Therefore, he's already going to be better than most grapplers in the light heavyweight division.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's basically like light heavyweight Damian Maia at that point.
No, because you still have John Jones, but
speaking of light heavyweight, let's talk about the co-main event. Alexander Rakic.
Oh my God, hitting my boy, Jimmy Manuwa.
I love that so much. That Dutch style combo where you throw them, or you draw out the response with hands and then just follow to the kick as they exit range. It's like
brutal.
Prachtig.
He gave him an appointment with the Angels, and they were like, "Are you ready now?" And he was like, "Nope."
Jesus
and
Christ.
One more time.
That was nuts. That was a brutal head kick.
I'm worried about Manuwa, man. Like I know. I don't want him to keep getting knocked out like this.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's kind of weird.
He's got
literally.
He's 30.
No,
he's 39. He needs to stop. It's three knockouts in those last 4 fights.
You know who is 39? Leonardo Santos is 39.
Yeah, but he hasn't been knocked out 5 times already.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying.
But light heavyweight is weird like that because I mean, Manuwa has fought almost everyone in the top 10. So unless you want to have a rematch, he has to fight lower. And lower, it's either really shit but good athletes who hit hard, or prospects coming up who are good enough and hit hard. So it's like,
I don't want to see him fight.
What are you gonna do?
Fight Johnny Walker next or something.
No. What?
That's who they're gonna match him up with. I'm telling you.
No. Johnny. Well, fuck no.
There's not much.
What if he wins?
There's not really much to talk about the fight itself. Rakic.
Well, it was very short. Rakic is seems to be good at kicking and good at putting kicks together.
Well, I wanna say that the range he seems to be very good at because it's came up in his other fights where he's found range with his jab and stuff. Offensively, yeah, obviously. Yeah. I mean, all lanky guys are better offensively with range than they are.
What's happening with light heavyweight? What's happening with light heavyweight? That suddenly guys with good range are coming into the picture and like maybe offering interesting fights for John Jones.
It's just 2 guys. It's Dominic Reyes and Alexander Rakic.
No, there's one other whose name escapes me. Guy who beat Volkan Oezdemir.
Johnny Walker. It didn't beat
No, not Johnny Walker, man. Club man.
Anthony Smith.
Blachowicz? No, he didn't fight him.
No, not Blachowicz. His name escapes me, man. Guy with a really long torso and short legs.
Dude, that was Dominic Reyes. I already said his name.
Oh, no, my bad.
I was like, who else?
No, but no. He has some people to fight. He has Thiago Santos. Then he could fight Anthony Smith at some point.
No.
Then there is
No.
Rakic. What?
Why would they rematch Jones and Smith?
Because he keeps winning.
But no,
No,
What
he
if
just
he
got
wins
beat.
one fight?
He just got beat shitless one fight ago by
I know.
Jones.
What if he wins? I know, but what if he wins 3 more times?
So what? He's not gonna convince anybody that there'd be any difference
But
in that fight.
yeah, but remember, Frankie Edgar got a title shot out of Dana White likes me. So
They should just go ahead and get it over with and book Ilia Latifi versus John Jones.
No, his back is injured from carrying all our sins. So
What?
I don't think our sins are at his back that much.
No,
maybe like sprain his back.
Also, John Jones won all 5 rounds, and one of them was a 10-8, but he also got deducted 2 points, if I remember correctly, right?
Yeah, there you have it.
He won
Rematch.
44 across the board. So
Rematch.
yeah. Okay.
Also, could have lost that fight if that knee was ready.
All right,
If he had chosen not to
I
continue.
think this is one of the last fights we're going to discuss from the card. Manuwa Amirkhani versus Chris Fishgold. Fishgold actually looked really good on the feet. He's kind of beating Manuwa up there. Both times Manuwa got Fishgold on the ground when he wanted him were pretty quick. Like he went for that anaconda choke twice, I think.
Yeah.
And the second time he buffered for a little bit. Credit to Mac Malley MMA for that line. That was great. But yeah, he got that choke and locked it in. Fishgold dropped back for that guillotine. He did not have it secured.
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't know whether to get excited about Manuwa or not. Because he trains at SPG, which isn't really renowned for their wrestle boxes. And it never shows. He's clearly good at that. That's his prime skill. But like we've seen against, I think, Arnold Allen that there's a limit to what he can do with it over at that camp.
Oh yeah, I don't think he's gonna make it to anything past like top 15 at best. You know. But it was a very impressive submission. I really enjoyed watching it. As soon as he locked it in, I was like, oh, yeah, that's it. It's taking time because Fishgold is a legit grappler himself.
Yay.
But that was, there was no chance he was getting out of that.
Are we gonna talk about Leonardo Santos pulling you prepare for my grappling, but I'm gonna knock you out type deal?
Yeah, that was the only thing I'm going to talk about after this. Leonardo Santos returns from a 3-year layoff.
Yep. And then he does a walkout KO. Like literally, he leaves.
Yeah.
He almost left the arena, and then they had to bring him back.
That was crazy.
Clearly, BJJ is the best striking art. So
hey, speaking of that, speaking of BJJ being the best striking art, Camacho. Did you guys watch the fight?
I did not.
It's like the second coming of George Gurgel.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know. I just call him Macho Man Camacho.
Yeah. So Macho Man Camacho is like clearly he's a jiu-jitsu guy. Clearly he's learned enough Muay Thai to just want to rely on Muay Thai because he has insane power. And so you get to see him just punch people who aren't ready for it and mostly kick people because he kicked the German dude a bunch of times.
Well,
I wouldn't call it Muay Thai though. It is more kickboxing-ish.
He moved back down to lightweight, which definitely helped.
Oh yeah, of course, because he wanted to war very hard against people that were heavier than him. It's like
also his opponent Nick Hine retired.
Well, yeah, no shit. I would retire too after that ass kicking.
But I mean, it's kind of good for Nick Hine in a way. I've only ever seen him compete on European cards, to be honest. So
yeah, I mean, he fought in the UFC. Good for him. I mean, like, but fucking Camacho, man, he's like, I'm gonna just kick the fuck out of you, And then he, like, you can clearly see that this is a grappler to learn how to strike. And then he was like, God damn, I love this. And then he just went nuts with it. And it's kind of like, again, like George Gourgill, but with a lot more power. And it's more fun that way.
Just a real quick no, never mind. Sorry. Yeah.
I do want to say that Leonardo Santos kind of, you can see he's a Nova União fighter because that counters were just like picture perfect.
Yeah, and I really enjoyed just watching him kick the shit out of the body the entire time.
Yeah, I want to know what I did not enjoy? Tonya Evinger getting hurt.
She's done. She's just done. You know.
Yeah, like we should take a little moment to sort of appreciate, because this is never going to happen again. Maybe she's retiring, I don't know. But to appreciate Tonya Evinger, because she's from the old guard. Like, she fought Gina Carano. She lost against Gina Carano. That's how far back we're going. And she already peaked, like in Invicta. She peaked. She made a bunch of title defenses. She beat Yana Kunitskaya pretty handily, who just is coming off of beating the girl that just kicked her ass. So, a lot of respect for Tonya Evinger. Like, she's been in there. Like, she's had some injuries before this fight, should be mentioned. So, I don't know what she's up to now. Like, if she's going to keep fighting or not. But I just feel like an immense sense of gratitude, because she's an OG. Like, she should be respected for what she's done. Like, she's had a rough go, man. Like, in the UFC, like, first Cyborg, then Aspen Ladd, and then this lady. Like, and she's got her ass kicked in all of these fights. Like,
to be fair, Lena Landsberg is the same age as her, so like it must just be the wear and tear.
No, it's just she's much less worn. Like, Tonya Evinger has been around for a long time, and maybe that's
exactly what I said. It's the wear and tear.
Yeah, I know. I took it. I understood that you say it must be the wind there, because she's Swedish, and I thought, like, what the fuck? No, but no.
How does that make sense? Wait, no, explain. How does that? How do you get?
Because
it must be a bear.
No,
she's Swedish.
And the wind in Sweden makes you somehow gives you some advantage for being Swedish or something. Like, my mind is dumb. I'm sorry. Anyway,
we're going to move on from this fight card to talk about the UFC 238.
Yep.
There's some shit to talk about. We got Henry Cejudo defending his bantamweight title. God, it's still it, versus one kick Marlon Moraes. And I am stoked for this fight.
We have Kukui.
I mean, we're going to get there, but we're going to talk about this fight first.
I don't know.
How do you see it going? Because I have
no idea.
Moraes, who was the last person aside from Sterling to really shoot on him?
No one.
Do we really have to think about shooting on him? Because, like, everyone knows Henry Cejudo is a karate guy.
Now he is.
But
isn't it interesting?
Guys, hold on. In all seriousness, yes, he knocked out TJ Dillashaw, but before that, he fought Demetrius Johnson, and
he shot on him nonstop.
I would say an argument.
Yes.
Though I don't agree with the argument, but
you can make an argument. You and I will not agree with the argument, but it is there to be made.
What I'm saying is that, like, 3 fights ago against Pettis, it was all wrestling all day.
Yep.
Where do we see this going? Because, like, Henry Cejudo is not the type of person to be like, I'm going to stand on the feet with you because I want. Like, no, he's going to use his wrestling. And
yeah, except he opened the fight with the skeleton of TJ Dillashaw, the heaviest skeleton ever, by the way, because he said he waited more for that fight than his fight with Cody, which was insane.
I think he tried to rehydrate more, like, as a compensation.
Yeah.
Cut.
Yeah, or he did steroids. Anyways.
Oh, that too.
But he started that fight striking, and he was comfortable there. Maybe because he got success so early on, but I want him to wrestle. I want to see if Moraes can deal with that kind of pressure.
I agree.
Well, yeah, he got immediate success, and it was off the same stuff he did to Wilson Hayes,
I think
where
the thing is
you,
that-
you use your lead hand to measure the distance, but not really to jab. You just kind of wait for them to pass your lead hand and then shoot the straight.
I just want to interject real quick. Marlon Moraes, I do want to point out, so the last 3 fights he's had all ended in the first round. They combined for less than 5 minutes in total.
But we know he can go 5 anyways.
We know he can go 5, but the thing is, well, yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah, but at the pace Cejudo is going to set,
the last 2
maybe he
fights
can.
he fought that went to decision were split decisions. One against Assunção, which he lost, and the other against Dodson, which he won, which I don't agree with. Also, he fouled Dodson multiple times in that fight. Dodson, I would say in 2017, probably comparable in speed to Cejudo now.
Yeah, but it's Dodson.
I don't
He's
know.
a pot shotter who's becoming more and more inactive.
Right, but what I'm saying is that
He's a Ninja Turtle.
17 Dodson is probably equivalent in speed to Cejudo now, correct?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Except Cejudo's throws and combos and stuff like that. But that's not really the issue. What I'm saying is that
His gold medal.
And Cejudo can counter you when you go forward.
correct.
I've only seen Dodson do that a handful of
Correct.
times.
So while I think it's important to note that Moraes clearly adjusted to Assunção specifically, how I don't know if he's going to be able to handle the pure athletic and speed advantage that a Cejudo will have.
He doesn't have it though. Is he? Does he? Like, is he like
Speed
that
advantage?
much? No, speed advantage he does have, but an overall athletic advantage, I don't know if he does.
I don't know if Marlon Moraes is Olympic gold medalist in wrestling.
No. But I'm thinking, I know, but
I don't think Moraes can cover distance at the same explosive speed that Cejudo can.
he probably doesn't. But
I would
he's
say
not, but he's right there. Like, he's not an inferior athlete, I think.
No, I don't think he's an inferior athlete, but we're talking about a game of inches in these kinds of weight class. And Cejudo is, we're talking about he was as fast as Demetrius Johnson, if not faster, even.
No, I wouldn't say he was as faster, but he was as fast. Oh no, you know what? A little less fast, but still plenty fast.
I don't think he was ever moving at a slower speed. I think he just didn't have the depth of skill necessarily that DJ had, just because he doesn't have the same amount of time training. But
fair, I can accept that argument.
I struggle to see. Moraes is obviously the far more technically skilled striker, but
yes,
the wrestling is a question mark for me.
He's a good wrestler, but it doesn't mean you're going to stop him.
Like, we just don't.
Well, I'm also kind of interested in how their frames match up, because, I mean, everyone who's kind of sparred a little knows this, that sometimes fighting a smaller guy can be really, really awkward.
Well,
and more and more we kind of seeing like with the weight class changes.
Are we going to say that? I don't think Cejudo is that much smaller than Assunção or Dodson. Or Rivera.
Well,
I think he's
no. He's in size. I mean, he's quite bulky, but I'm talking about frame.
Cejudo is not that small, man.
I remember his bantamweight fights, and he looked quite a bit shorter in his old bantamweight fights.
Yeah, but he's talking like it might help him. Actually,
5'4", and that dude is a tank. Like, he's really wide.
Yeah, but also, like, even if he were to be significantly smaller than Moraes, which he won't be, but let's assume he will be. Like, that will only help him wrestle because his center of mass is lower to the ground anyway.
Yeah, but it's also harder to keep control in the grappling when you're the smaller guy. Like,
but that's the point. He's not that small. So
right, that's what I'm saying. I don't think it's
a good point.
I just think it's important to note that Moraes, he hasn't faced wrestlers. Like, the last one I could really see him face, like, I don't know if you count Aljamain Sterling as a wrestler. More, I would say he's a grappler than a wrestler.
Yeah,
he did wrestle. Obviously, he was D3, but like, he's more known for his grappling than his wrestling. the last guy before that I know, like, was Cody Bollinger. Way back in 2014.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How did that fight go?
It was Cody Bollinger. He was the guy who also retired because I think of he retired a while ago.
No, but how did that fight go?
I mean, he won, but it was
he was
by
long.
submission. No, I mean, Moraes is a legit submission guy too. The dude's a black belt in jiu-jitsu. Like,
no, I don't doubt it.
Under Ricardo Almeida, the guy's a legit black belt, but it's just an odd question mark because the way I see it, like Cejudo's gonna pressure, I would say, and Moraes is usually okay with allowing people to kind of push him so he can counter. In the deeper exchanges, I am worried about Cejudo in the sense that I think that if the exchanges go too long, I do feel that Moraes is going to have the advantage there, specifically with the hands. And from the outside, he's just going to get kicked to shit.
Oh, yeah. I wanted to mention that because, I mean, Cejudo likes to do that thing I mentioned earlier with his lead hand, where he measure the distance without really throwing offense. You just kind of wait for you to pass his lead hand so he can shoot the rear straight.
Yeah.
But, like,
it doesn't have an active
that's always, that's always been kind of the problem with that style, is that if you're not doing anything, you can be kicked. And if your hands outstretched, you can't catch the kick.
Yeah.
So he'd have to put the pressure on immediately to kind of get around it.
Oh yeah, but we also do know that Cejudo fights very smart, and his camp comes out with very good game plans. He has seemed to have tailor-made his game plan to each opponent in each of his most recent fights. I mean, since the Demetrius Johnson fight, like against Benavidez, Hayes, Pettis, Johnson, Dillashaw, they're all kind of like made sense the way he approached each fight. So I'm very curious to see how Cejudo's going to approach this. I do think we're going to see him shoot, and I do think we're going to see him shoot early.
I hope so.
But
because that will tell us how the fight will go.
We cannot discount Moraes' quick twitch responses to takedowns with strikes. And the thing is that Cejudo also has a stupid chin.
The huge head.
Well, yeah, I mean, also it's any forward movement, really. I mean, Rivera didn't shoot a takedown in him. He just kind of, Moraes realized he was at range and shot his leg over his guard.
Sterling did.
No, Sterling shot. I'm saying with Rivera. Rivera didn't shoot, but Moraes figured out the range almost immediately and nailed him.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. There's also, it's just, but we also saw him stymied by Dodson, I mean, I know it's Dodson's kind of his thing, but I scored that fight for Dodson, if I remember correctly.
I don't remember that fight.
I do remember scoring it for Dodson. I think that I could see Cejudo also employing a game plan where he just pot shots from the outside. He is fast enough,
but he has much shorter arms, I think. I don't think he'll
Dodson? He's bigger than Dodson.
No, but we have to assume that Moraes has gotten better.
Why?
Why not?
Where is okay? In what tangible way specifically would you say he's gotten better since the Dodson fight?
I can't answer that honestly. I mean, the fights haven't lasted that long for us to really see much. No, it's. I'm not saying.
Well, maybe
wrong. I'm not saying he's wrong.
I'm not saying he has, but there's nothing we could specifically pinpoint to say.
I know. I know.
But we're also under the assumption that Cejudo is not better than Dodson and the Dodson that fought Moraes in 2017.
That's why we have to say, like, empirically, what can we say versus what might be true.
That the two fights that he struggled with in the UFC were Assunção and Dodson. Both of them were low volume and used hard counters to, they low output in order to just draw out shots from Moraes, I guess.
Okay, question.
Dodson, same thing. But
do you see Cejudo countering?
Yeah, he does. That's how he nailed TJ.
He does, though.
Wilson Ace also.
He's not the most.
Moraes?
He's not the most technical counter fighter necessarily, but he's
but
extremely
okay,
explosive and powerful, and he does have very good proprioception. So he's
yes,
kind
but
of
that was at the
timing
beginning of the
shots.
fight. Can he rely on that through the duration, through 25 minutes? Can he rely on that?
I happen to say I happen to think this fight has a ton of X factors. Honestly,
I know. Yes, we agree. But my point is that if we don't know, then it's more likely then that he will rely on his wrestling.
Oh, I think he should. What I'm saying is that he could also use that strategy from the outside, the low output. Maybe he can get Mirage to overcommit on a shot, not a shot, a strike, and then take a shot under the.
Oh no, I think if he does that, he's gonna get kicked to shit.
He probably will. I think that it at least. No. If he tries to play the countering game for too long, like if he's going to do that, he should at least have invested effort in getting some takedowns first to make Marlon hesitate.
But we saw this game plan be effective against Mirage. I don't.
Yes, but Henry Cejudo doesn't fight like them. He does the basics. The basic framework is there, but his game isn't deep enough to strike like them.
We don't. That is an assumption. We don't know if he could fight against type because we haven't seen him have to fight against type.
Very fair, but again, empirically, can we rely on that?
Empirically, we don't know, but I can say empirically.
That's hypothetical.
Hold on.
Empirically, we have never seen him do it.
Oh, we have. We haven't seen him do it for long instances because he's been able to finish the fights in the instances that he did use it.
That's DJ coming down in weight.
Also, that's the same thing. The same thing goes for Moraes' recent run.
Also, very fair point. Damn it.
So, I mean, we know of a game plan that has worked against of a style and a game plan that has worked against Mirage. We know that Cejudo can work with a counter-oriented game.
We have never seen
in short bursts, but we don't know if he can do it over the long course of the fight. We do not know how Mirage's wrestling will hold up. We don't know really what Cejudo's submission defense would look like in a prolonged ground battle against a really dangerous submission fighter, which Mirage actually is a pretty solid submission fighter. What can we expect? I don't know, but I'm gonna probably go with Cejudo to defend his title. I think he'll defend.
No, not defend. It's not the flyweight fight.
Dude, he's the bantamweight. Oh, it's the bantamweight title. Right.
No, yes, he will defend the title. We are mentioning the spiritual champion of 135.
Right. I think he will defend his lineal title while also winning the actual physical belt. I don't know if he'll be able to finish Mirage. So I'm gonna go with a decision.
Yeah, I'm picking Mirage.
Bold.
The wrestling is still an X factor, but like I feel like if you can't get the wrestling done, and if you're being real, I mean the wrestling game plan used against Pettis was against Pettis and not Mirage.
Because it will tell us how far wrestling gets you against someone that did not grow up wrestling but has done enough work that he just might be able to offset it.
Maybe.
No. We know how far wrestling gets you.
We do have to move on. So Alejandro, you got to make a pick.
I make no pick.
Wait, I wanna say something before next pick. Like we know how far wrestling.
Okay, I'm gonna
Then really move on. We really need to move on. We really need to move on. So,
okay, I'm gonna pick Cejudo because Mexico. Fuck it.
Okay, I've had a feeling. Shevchenko versus Jessica I.
Why do we have to discuss this fight?
Because Jessica I is big. She is strong.
And I like her.
Grinder. I really don't care.
Yeah, but she gets shut out when someone can kind of stay off. And Shevchenko is notorious for taking a foot off the pace and just waiting to counter. And she's really good at that.
Not at flyweight though.
Not that we've seen yet. What we rarely seen a fight.
Jessica I can hang with Valentina on the feet in any sort of.
Probably not, but don't be surprised if okay, yes.
No, I'm not saying that she can hang with her on the feet, but like if she gets scared off by the first few counters and decides to be more cautious, do we really know that Valentina will come forward towards her?
Even if she doesn't, Valentina will win. The question is whether she'll finish Jessica Ai. I've never gotten over the laughter I had when Misha Tate knocked down Jessica Ai. I laughed my fucking ass off for about an hour, and I just
You're nasty.
randomly laugh every single time.
I will never stop laughing because of the prima donna.
But I can't get over that. I'm like, listen, Jessica Ai has won her last like bunch of fights using her mediocre wrestling by basically just being bigger and stronger than her opponents, and then yelling about how wrestling wins fights. I don't know.
No, that's not going to work here there. But you have to concede something that she did kind of well against Chukagian.
She won a split decision.
Yeah, that's kind of well. Pretty well would have been a sound decision.
Is Caitlin Chukagian remotely comparable to?
It is remotely. She is.
I don't.
No. Remotely. That's really remote.
Chukagian has pretty garbage defense, if I'm not mistaken.
No, she doesn't. She knows how to move quite decently. She knows where to stand when to throw.
Someone else. Sorry. I was thinking someone else. My bad.
Okay. No, my point is that she is remotely comparable, and Jessica Ai is kind of a little firecracker. Like she might do things that surprise you.
She'll do nothing that surprises me, but I can see her grind out just Valentina Shevchenko. Don't get me wrong.
She won't grind her
really out. The person who managed to kind of stay alive against Amanda Nunes.
Yeah, like really grind her, but she will do some surprising things, and that's all I want.
I'm saying what she's going to try to do. I didn't say she'd do it successfully.
Yeah, but that's why I don't really feel like discussing this fight, because I feel like we're just going to get an awkward staring contest for most of the fight.
We might.
That would be so much fun.
I think Shevchenko will beat Ai, and it'll be.
It's the more likely of scenarios. Yes.
I don't think it'll be fun.
I have fun with mostly anything. So
I will kind of chuckle if Jessica Ai becomes the flyweight title holder.
No, Alejandro, your opinion doesn't matter, because I have to be up at 4 a.m. watching these cards, and like if this card happens, I'm gonna fall asleep and miss the main event, and I'm gonna blame you.
I do want to point something out. If Jessica Ai does win, and and Joanna decides that she wants to move back up to flyweight and fight Jessica Ai, she would kick the shit out of Ai.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah, but she wants to move down to women's strawweight. So like, this is really interesting. Let's talk about this. Which division does Joanna move if Ai beats Shevchenko?
I want Joanna to stay here.
I'm more interested in this right now, to be honest, than the actual fight.
No, we have to move on anyway.
I'm less interested in that than I am in discussing Ferguson Cerrone or Rivera Peter Yan.
Well, okay, that's true. I want to discuss that.
Cerrone. Wow. First of all, I'm kind of nervous for Ferguson fighting, but
I'm also not because of his injuries or any of the other stuff going on, but like I've been watching a few of his older fights, and he's not really a good pressure fighter. When he tries pressuring, he's very open defensively. And the game plan to beat Cerrone has been to pressure or to match his range. And Ferguson can match his range, but like if he's gonna pressure, he's gonna be open up to taking strikes all night.
Right. So that's kind of
and modern day Cerrone is not modern day Pettis.
No, he's not. And it's kind of part of the thing I wanted to talk about is that Ferguson's actual best performance was kind of a mid-range kickboxing match with RDA with like subtle pressure more so than just balls to the wall pressure, which he's been utilizing more recently.
Yeah, and that Samba dancing. Don't forget that.
And what?
The Samba dancing.
Yes, the Samba dancing. Tony might show up for this fight, if the Tony Ferguson that took the RDA fight that seriously shows up, I think he'll honestly pick Cerrone apart. The problem.
That's the thing. That's the thing. I don't know because you look at Cerrone and you're like, okay, I need to pressure him to win, right?
But
Ferguson does worse when he pressures. No. I'm saying it's in general the logical. Just let me finish. I'm saying in general it's a logical choice to pressure him to beat him, right?
No.
But for Tony's case, it's not the logical.
Hold on.
No, I didn't finish. That's why I'm saying in general it's a logical choice. For Ferguson, it's not the most logical choice, and I don't know what to pick.
But it's the most logical choice. But if you actually look at his last 4 losses, which were to Edwards, Till, Lawler, and Masvidal, 2 of them pressured heavily, and the other 2 had subtle pressure and just out kickboxed him. Edwards and Masvidal.
No, but that's what I said. If you can match his range, you can give him trouble. The thing with pressure is you when someone pressures you, you are kind of forced to meet them at that range because they are always walking forward, right? And Ferguson has enough reach to do that. And he's a lot better defensively when he does that. But he's also someone to come out and put on crazy pressure and throw the fence to
I understand you're repeating what I'm saying, but that's my point, is that I think Ferguson would beat Cerrone if he fought at that range with subtle pressure, where he's constantly in Cerrone's face, but also at kind of a mid to long range kickboxing range. The problem, which I'm getting to next, is that when Tony doesn't, if you look at Tony's record, the way he's fought people tends to kind of be very heavy pressure, except for a few instances. For example, ever since the Barboza fight, the only fight he hasn't done that in was against RDA.
Yeah,
that's because RDA was coming forward in that fight.
Yeah,
so
but also
everyone else was kind of backing away from his range, and so you could chase him down. RDA came forward, so I just met him there.
Lee was not. Kevin Lee was trying to, but first,
may I say something?
Right into it.
Can I say something?
Yeah, but it's Kevin Lee. I mean, we've seen that sort of trend in his other performances also, where he starts with pressure and then kind of lags off a little.
Can I say something?
Gaz then had a staph infection.
Yeah, but let me say something, please. Regarding the RDA fight, the only reason why we saw that Tony Ferguson kind of pacing himself, in my opinion, of course, I can read his mind, but I think that it was a result solely, was so in function of the fact that they were fighting in Mexico City at altitude. So that's the only
he threw over 400 significant strikes in that fight.
I know, and that's mild
pacing.
No, but he kind of was fighting at sort of in the middle distance. Like what Tony usually does is that he collapses the pocket.
I understand that. What I'm saying is that that's not pacing. What you're describing.
Maybe for Tony it is. Maybe in his mind that he paces the space between himself and his opponent.
His highest output fight of his career.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
Well, that's also the only recent 5-rounder he's fought.
Right, I'm saying even then, I think it might still be among the highest paces he's ever.
No, you're not. No, I'm explaining myself. I'm not explaining myself properly. By pacing, I don't mean in terms of time. I mean this in terms of space. Time? Same thing. No, what I'm trying to say is when people talk about pace, they talk, in reality, what they're saying is frequency of actions. So what I am saying is that you can think of closeness in terms of that. How frequently do you get close to an opponent, right? And I think that Tony may have tried to pace that aspect of the fight. Say, okay, I'm in altitude, so I'm not going to get into this type of risks at close range. I'm going to keep it longer.
That is a very
significant
assumption. I think it's a lot easier to just assume that he knew it was the biggest fight of his career.
Well, no, I'm agreeing with Alejandro, because that's what I said about RDA pressuring him. When RDA pressured him, he didn't take his foot off the gas in terms of strikes, but he didn't really chase RDA down because RDA was always coming into his range. With most other fighters, they tend to back off and try to pot shot. and then Tony kind of streams forward crazily. Or he tries to stage a comeback and he streams forward crazily.
So
What I'm saying is, you have to be RDA to not make him stream forward crazily.
How he fought Gleison Tebow then?
That was long ago. I don't really consider that fight.
I mean, he fought similar to how he fought RDA.
Yeah, but it was long ago.
Josh Thompson.
Okay, we can say he has that in his back pocket. The issue is, can he bring it out in this fight?
I think it's a lot different than what you guys are saying. I think a lot of it has to do with his attitude towards the fight in general. It depends on how he views his opponents. If he thinks that he is going to be able to, if he feels that pressure is going to be his best route to victory, then he's going to balls to the wall pressure. I think that he will choose that course of action just based on Cerrone's history, and I think that is a mistake. I think it's more.
I agree.
I disagree with you on the altitude or anything. I think it's more of a conscious decision. We've seen RDA pressured backwards with strikes. We've seen him back off or forced to back off, especially earlier on before his like big welterweight run and even his recent comeback. What I'm saying is that Tony chose not to do that. I think those were conscious choices as opposed to RDA's response making him choose not to in the fight. As much as I do think he game plans.
I don't disagree with your overall point because, I mean, I said this in the beginning, like, there is that method of fighting Cerrone, which is well known. And I kind of expect Ferguson to try to pressure, even though that's not his best shot at winning.
I agree.
But like, I don't agree on the reasoning behind the RDA fight. That's what I'm trying to say.
I understand that you don't agree. I'm totally, I understand that. I do think we need to make a pick though. And the question is, even if Ferguson chooses to pressure recklessly or tries to collapse the pocket in on Cerrone,
can he take his punches?
It's a combination of, can Cerrone eat that punishment this late into his career and after cutting back down to lightweight a few times already? And B, does Cerrone have the firepower to stop Ferguson?
Pretty much everyone has the firepower to stop him, at least momentarily.
No, but I mean like stop him. I'm not saying like knock him
out. I don't know. Like, I'm honestly more worried about where Tony is mentally.
Right.
Like,
we can't.
He's coming off a really, like, you cannot not talk about it. Like, the guy had some real like mental health.
But we also can't extrapolate. We don't know what we have.
I know
based on his fights. Like, there's nothing else we can mention it as an X factor, but the bottom line is we don't know what to expect.
I will tell you this: it's a pretty fucking dramatic X factor. And it can wreck shit.
It could also make him even more good in the cage.
No, it won't. Not in this case. Trust me, it won't. This shit cannot help him. It would only affect him in negative way.
Far more. Not
Tony Ferguson, like.
Yeah, like actually, it could mean that he has complete lack of disregard for his own well-being and. Completely.
That's how you lose fights. You're talking about a guy that gets dropped every first round.
What I'm saying is that
it like take the worst qualities and then exacerbate them. That's what you're telling me. And that somehow he's going to win?
Maybe there's another level, is what I'm saying.
You know what? I agree with that. Fuck it.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you don't know how it could affect. Yeah, most likely it's not going to do well. But like,
yeah, more than likely.
More than likely, yeah. But what if it just means there's another level that we didn't, like, you haven't seen his final form yet, you know?
Oh man.
Maybe actual wings will sprout from his back.
I think
out of these, you have actually managed to maybe word it perfect.
Balls here. If Ferguson fights remotely similar like he did to RDA, I think he takes this clearly.
Yes, emphasis in remotely similar.
I'm talking like I think he takes a 50-45.
I think he'll stop Cerrone, to be honest. Even if he comes forward with crazy pressure, there are worries for me if he does come out like that. But like The Ella Quinter fight kind of gave me some pause for Cerrone. Not that he showed major durability issues, but he was kind of frightened off a little. And Ferguson won't stop if you give him that sort of look. I won't even call it being hurt.
Cerrone.
And Cerrone's also struggled when guys can just match his range, which is
I am worried.
which is what I think the pressure. I think that's where the pressure thing kind of materializes as.
Don't think,
but it's matching his range.
Hold on, I don't think Cerrone could win the range kickboxing match. I do think he could win if Tony pressures, right off the bat. That's where my hesitancy is. If he does pressure right off the bat, there's a chance Cerrone can, I think he could finish Ferguson. I don't know if I'm willing to make that pick.
No, I'm with you. I agree totally. That's exactly what I said. Like I have pauses if he's gonna come out like a crazy madman, but those are pauses. I still expect Ferguson to win just because of the range.
I think I have an alternative. What if both things happen?
You mean if it's
so you're saying a normal Ferguson fight?
No. I say no. I say
a normal.
He completely walks Cerrone down and starts applying steady pressure on him, right? And then he cooks him, and then somehow he gets clipped and gets knocked out. And that's how the fight ends.
Oh, I'll be sad, but
no, I know, but
I'll just be sad.
Because what Tony does is a lot of it is like there's a lot of endurance to what he does. And if something is going to be affected, it might be that. So
I have another thought. If Tony comes rocketing forward, Donald Cerrone's step-in knee worries me for Ferguson specifically.
Yeah, because
I'm actually not that worried about it, to be honest, because Barboza hit him a ton in the body and it didn't slow him down. What worries me What worries me is Cerrone's offbeat lead leg switch kick. That's what worries me the most.
I can see that. I really think that you're underestimating those knees to the body, though. Like
no. I'm not. In general, I don't underestimate it. Like it's a genuine tool. I'm just saying I've seen Ferguson take like spinning back kicks and like combinations to the body by Barboza of all people.
Yeah,
and he's just kind of shrugged it off. Yeah, but have you seen what the Barboza does to most other guys when he hits them or that?
Yeah, but most other guys aren't Tony Ferguson, but most other guys also aren't Donald Cerrone with that knee to the body.
Yeah, but like, are we really going to say that the knee to the body, that step-in knee, is better than Barboza's spinning back kick to the body?
There's one thing we have to consider. Like
one of the Barboza's back kicks to the body.
Well, I'm talking about singular occurrences because if Tony comes forward like a madman, that knee will be there. But that for that knee to really take effect, he needs to hit it consistently. And can we really count on Cerrone for avoiding the onslaught while doing that out consistently?
I'm trying to ask you a question. Do you think Ferguson is going to be finishing Cerrone in the first round?
He could, yeah. Honestly, I said it as a second round, but
he could. That's great. But I'm saying, do you think he will?
I think second round finish. To be honest.
Okay. That's probably what I was going to pick too. But
I'm going to side with Ben a little bit in that you don't have to hit knees consistently to get finished. If you just get hit with the right knee at the right time, your body just shuts off.
Yeah, but that's the risk with all body attacks, and we've seen him take it before.
Yeah,
so okay. I'm not saying it can't happen, but it's like counting on a perfect knock. I'm not saying it can't happen, but it's like counting on a perfectly landed knockout punch to the jaw versus a fighter just eating it constantly through most other fights. Like the possibility is always there, but you can't bank on it.
But you can bank on it to open him up enough. Like I still cannot forget the fact that he has been dropped in every fight that he's had up till now, like the last 3-4 fights, and he's eaten a lot.
To the head. But to the head. That's why I said the offbeat switch kick worries me. Not exactly the knee, because if Cerrone wins with the knee, it'll be a long, drawn out kind of performance, and I can't count on him to survive a
I don't
like a
know.
two round onslaught by Tony. But the lead leg switch kick on the other hand, like if he drops him, and even if he doesn't finish him, but if it makes him worried, that might end badly then.
Okay, let's leave it there. Fair enough. Picks. So we have to make a pick.
I got Ferguson by.
See, can we just say no pick?
Oh, we have to.
Like we don't know. We really don't know.
We made our analysis. You know, we spoke about how each one has their path to victory. I do think Cerrone does have a very clear path to victory, and just it's not going to be easy. I think his path to victory will involve diffusing the pressure of Ferguson, and Ferguson not fighting at a distance and matching his range. I think that Ferguson does try to pressure really, really early, like first 2 rounds, and he can't get Cerrone out of there and just eats body shots and attrition-based strikes. I think by the 3rd round, he might be just worn down a little and be able to be finished by Cerrone. I don't see Cerrone, winning this fight by decision.
Yeah, I wouldn't expect a decision.
I see it. Don't get me wrong. I mean, it could happen. Obviously, he could, like, if Ferguson just.
Well, if there's one night for Tony to show up and not be himself, it's this one.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like, if Tony comes out and doesn't fight,
like he fights,
then
no. But like even if he pressures like crazy, the range issue is still there. That's why I'm picking Ferguson to get the finish in the 2nd round, because they'll leave him more open. But like the range issue is still there because Cerrone isn't going to be the lankier guy in this fight.
I think it'll be the 3rd. I think it'll take an extra round to wear him down.
Well, no. Well, thing is, for me, it's not really the cardio issue. It's just that we've seen Cerrone kind of, falter.
I mean, mentally slowing down.
Yeah, we've seen him falter like that, and it's usually either come early in the fight or in the 2nd round.
Right, but I'm giving him an extra round since his kid was born.
Well, Manny said that, so he should know.
Yeah.
You got one round for Daniel. That's it.
We don't really have that much time left at all, so we're just going to kind of do some quick hits on the remainder of the card. Jimmy Rivera versus Peter Yan. Peter Yan's going to beat up Jimmy Rivera if Rivera can't finish him early. Rivera is a pretty rote counter striker. He doesn't really have good range tools, and he also slows down in every single fight as the fight goes on. Peter Yan only gets better as he gets his opponent's timing down.
He's not as young as he says he is.
Yeah, he's 5,000 years old, but that also means he has 5,000 years of experience. So I got Peter Yan.
Exactly.
I think Yan's going to finish Jimmy Rivera. Late 2nd round finish.
Yeah, I can't really decide. I mean, I can see him finishing Rivera, but like both of them are kind of Dutch-style combination strikers, and I don't think Rivera can finish Peter Yan, but it's tricky when you have kind of these 2 guys fighting each other when most of the other opponents don't really fight in the same way. I mean, there's Marlon Moraes, but like Moraes finished him like immediately, so I don't think you can really look at that fight for any clues.
Oh, yeah, fair enough. I still like Peter Yan though. He's one.
Oh yeah, no, I love him. I like the way he fights. Yeah, but like
Tuivasa versus Ivanov.
It's just tricky.
Or Ivanov. Sorry, Tuivasa versus Ivanov.
Tuivasa.
Yeah, I gotta go with Tuivasa. I mean, I know JDS just knocked him out, but I really.
He was.
I mean, he had neutralizer, so that is something to take into account because he is a good neutralizer. He does have a lot of experience. I feel the problem is that Tuivasa kind of excels in the mid range, and Ivanov kind of excels on the back foot. So I can actually see Bagoy frustrating Tuivasa, but I don't feel he has the athletic capability to kind of consistently avoid the strikes of Even though
Tuivasa.
I think Arlovsky.
Well,
I just look
Arlovsky
like-
and JDS are both plus athletes also.
right. So that's what I'm saying.
That's
I
why.
look like I think Ivanov essentially would be trying to do what Arlovsky did while also doing a less athletic version of it, and I think that's why Tuivasa will win.
Yeah, no, that's where I was going.
I can deal with that. Yeah. Next.
So I got Tuivasa. I don't know if he'll finish even because Bogoi is super tough. So I'm gonna go with Tuivasa decision. Suarez versus Ansarov. This is a good fight.
Ooh,
Really don't have time.
it's an interesting one because it tells us that if Tatiana cannot enforce her wrestling, it's kind of toast.
Yeah, and
But most likely she will. So
listen, Ansarov, her improvements have been stellar, like since earlier in her career.
oh yeah, of course, she's had time.
Really good.
How old is she?
What?
How old is she?
She is 33.
Yeah, 33. That's about the right age.
Here's the problem. Her takedown defense is good. Really, it's solid. I mean, she stuffed 8 out of 10 takedowns against Cordelia. The problem
Is that's MMA standards?
No, the problem is that, if Tatiana gets you down, you're not really getting back up.
Not likely.
But that's also kind of what we thought about Claudia in a way. But
No, but there's a difference. Like Tatiana is a much better wrestler and grappler than all put together. Her wrestling and her grappling are leagues beyond what Claudia Gadelha can do.
In January of 2016, Justine Kish took her down 3 times. Fine, you could say it's 3 years ago. It's a lot of improvement. Great.
No, but it's a fair point.
Last year, Randa Marcos took her down.
Randa Marcos is also an underrated wrestler.
She's not Tatiana Suarez.
No. I know that. I'm saying by MMA standards, she's an underrated wrestler. She's pretty decent for MMA standards. But like Tatiana Suarez is God mode.
I just I'm so because if Tatiana doesn't get that,
Stop hesitating, Ben. Just pick Tatiana already. We know you're gonna pick her.
Sure, I'm gonna pick her. That's the thing because Tatiana.
Don't talk shit.
So, in all seriousness, Nina will beat her on the feet if they face.
She'll murder her.
That's the story with like literally everyone. Like it only really comes down to, can you avoid the chain wrestling? Yes, no.
Yeah, pretty much. And thing is, they're gonna be doing this for 3 rounds. So at some point, Tatiana is gonna catch her, unless Ansarov clips her with something coming in. Which
is she a power puncher though?
No, not at all.
No, but she's a taekwondo black belt.
She's got 4 knockouts.
A taekwondo black belt doesn't mean that much when it comes to enforcing range.
Probably not, but it means
5 rounds. I would pick Ansarov. But
no, you're
no,
crazy.
I wouldn't. Like if you're gonna get taken down, you're gonna exhaust a lot of energy.
Let me finish.
If Tatiana shows up drunk, well, yes, I would pick Ansarov.
Could you just listen? I think Suarez is going to take her down and get nothing accomplished in the first round. I think she'll get her down early in the second round, and then Ansarov will start to turn the tide towards the end. I think the third round will be Ansarov stuffing takedowns. But I don't think it'll be enough to win the fight. That's what I'm trying.
Are you drunk?
I don't really agree. Because the problem is that when you have a good wrestler who's kind of inert on the top, I don't have a problem with that playing out.
Yeah,
Tatiana is not inert. And if Tatiana is going to be working, you are going to be working. And if you are going to be working against Tatiana, you are going to get more tired quicker than Tatiana. And if you are getting...
Tatiana's going to have an easy time getting Ansarov down, and I think that's going to wear on her.
And I think they think
really?
you're being Teddy Atlas right now. That's interesting, but also mildly insane. No, I'm thinking Tatiana gets her, probably pounds her out even. Like I think she's gonna get her down. If she doesn't get her down, that's disastrous. Like even if she doesn't accomplish damage on the floor, because she's been coming into her own. Like she's been improving. But all her improvements seem to be geared towards making her wrestle her wrestling more effective. Because if you look back on her early fights in the UFC, like she was decisioning girls, but she wasn't like finishing them or mauling them or anything. And she has gotten better at this one thing that she does. So I think it is safe to say that Suarez will take her down at some point, and then she will make her work. And just the fact that she will make her work a hell of a lot, and she'll probably pound her a lot. Like she's gonna hit her. She has long arms. Unless we're assuming that Anchor.
I want to get through all these fights.
What?
I want to get through at least 3 more of these fights.
No,
Okay.
let us tell you why you are wrong first, and then we can go through that.
But he gets to say that because he can beat Teddy Atlas. If that happens, you have to be the I told you so.
I'm making a very specific prediction.
No, I like it. I like it.
Sterling
Next fight.
versus Munoz. Jesus Christ, these fights are amazing. Sterling versus Munoz.
Aljamain Sterling versus.
Pedro Munoz.
Fuck, I don't remember the other guy.
The guy who just.
I'm picking Aljamain Sterling with some caveats.
I like the Garble Destroyer. I like it.
I think that honestly, I know I'm going out on a limb here. I think Sterling's going to kick the crap out of Munoz, and it won't.
Oh, that's interesting. How so?
Be close, because he's gotten good enough on the feet where I think he's actually going to at range specifically that I think he's going to trouble Munoz, and I think he's more than capable of not getting submitted on the ground by Munoz.
Yeah, that's basically where I'm at, because Munoz is great in the pocket, but he's kind of foot slow. That worked well against Cody Garbrandt, who marches into the pocket and spams right hooks. But like if Aljo stays on the outside, picks him apart, waits for Munoz to step forward, and then shoots a reactive takedown, which is kind of been his style, then I have to pick Aljo.
I would actually prefer that Aljo get into the clinch and then do a trip takedown, because I do think he should still avoid that guillotine if he can.
Well, yeah, I mean, he's good at that also. But like the same principles remain.
Right. But I don't think it'll even be close. Kowalkiewicz versus Grasso. I'm going to go with Grasso simply.
God damn, how deep is this card?
Yeah, well, wait till I get to the next fight. I'm picking Grasso out of because I know that Alejandro's going to pick Kowalkiewicz simply because he's going to he's going to do a hedge sadness bet thing.
No. Let me explain. I'm also picking Grasso because
then I don't
because tribalism, right? But no. You can change your pick now, you asshole. You're gonna support me emotionally.
Honestly, I'll tell you what it is. I don't. I straight up just don't trust Grasso.
No, that's fair. That's fair.
Stop stealing my fucking picks, Ben. For half these fights at least.
Why? We know exactly what Kowalkiewicz is, and Grasso, I still have no fucking clue.
That is exactly the argument that I'm going to make. I actually thought about this fight a lot. You may not believe me, but we have seen this fight already in some way or another. In between, it's spread through 10 fights actually, because Grasso and Kowalkiewicz have fought have 5 opponents in common. Like they have Misuke Inoue, they have Yuri Esquivel, they have what's her name? The first girl Grasso fought, Hurricane Heather Jo Clark, Felice Herrig, and Randa Marcos. Okay, now. If you want to be charitable, you can say that Grasso won round 1 and round 3 of the Herrig fight. I am charitable. I will say that she edged those rounds. She handily lost the second round. So if you say she lost the fight, fair enough. But what we have seen of this fight, sort of dispersed throughout these 10 contests, is this. Kowalkiewicz is going to show up, and we know what she's going to do. She's going to put pace on you, and she's going to spam things that work. Be it a clinch, be it leg kicks, be it high kicks, be it just putting more and more pace on you. Now, what about Grasso? She hasn't won a fight since 2017. And she's coming off a long layoff. And she has struggled with fighters that Kowalkiewicz beat relatively handily, but she did better against fighters that Kowalkiewicz struggled with. But in terms of on paper, on what we can tell for certain, you kind of have to go with Kowalkiewicz because she's a known quantity, right? Like you kind of have to. If let's say you're a betting man, then if you had to bet for somebody, you have to bet for Kowalkiewicz, right? Because you don't know what Grasso is bringing. Like Grasso is still at that very developmental time where she hasn't quite realized what she wants to do, like the type of fighter that she is. So yeah, I mean, we know what she's gonna do. Like we don't know how she's going to respond if she gets spammed, like leg kicks, like that one thing I'm going to say, leg kicks. If she gets spammed with leg kicks, and if she can move and whatever, right? Now, that said, that's admitted. She, on paper, should not be the person you are going to pick if you're putting money on this. Now, I'm going to make the argument for Grasso for the sake of making the argument for Grasso.
That she's Mexican, like you, and you're a big homer.
Yes, and I'm a big homer. No, it's not an absurd argument.
No, I'm joking. Yeah, go on.
Even though you're kind of right. No. If you watch her fights, specifically the stand-up portion of all her fights, everybody that has tried to bully her has failed or been put in a stalemate. Like, go back and watch her fight. The only person that succeeded was Ashley Cummins. I don't think Grasso won that fight with Cummins. But since then, everybody that has tried to rush her in some way or another ends up getting pushed back. Even against the cage, they all end up backing away. Now, that may not be enough. Okay. There's a long time since she last fought. Fair enough. Now, I'm going to give you a bit of data. If you think, well, she may be rusty. True. Or maybe she won't because she's had 4 training camps since she fought Tatiana Suarez. Okay,
I just want to interject a couple things. One, it's really I'm only letting this happen because Mexican homerism, but you talked about this fight way too long.
I know. I've been thinking about this fight. Hey, you got your Volkanovski bullshit. Now you're gonna let me talk about it.
Yeah, but at least he was against Jose fucking Aldo.
No, but if we're honest, Kowalkiewicz is more important than Jose Aldo.
All right.
Admit it.
Emotionally she is.
I do want to say though, I don't know who Alejandro is gonna pick, but I'm gonna pick Kowalkiewicz just because she's actually really good in the clinch, and she goes forward, and I can't trust Grasso to kind of avoid that insane forward pressure.
I'm gonna say something that might piss off Alejandro. I just don't think Grasso's that good.
No, that's fair. I think it is.
Oh, shut your mouth, Ben. Go fuck yourself.
No, that's a fair argument because we haven't seen much from her.
No, get mad, Alejandro. I can't be the only one telling Ben to go fuck himself.
I never saw the hype in her.
No, look, I'm going to agree with you because what people were getting hyped about was something that happened years and years ago when she wasn't struggling with the kinds of fighter that she's now. And she was a tween. She was just off high school pretty much fighting grown-up women. And she happened to fight Mizuki, who gave a hell of a fight to Kowalkiewicz, arguably won it. And then she had a great fight with Jody Esquivel. Then she beat the shit out of Heather Jo Clark. Now, it may not be enough. You need time with these people coming from these developing countries. But I will say this. She's had 4 training camps since the Tatiana Suarez fight, okay? To fight Angela Hill, to fight Mahina Rodriguez, then to fight Mahina Rodriguez again, then to fight Kowalkiewicz, all geared towards stand-up fighters. So we really don't know what she's bringing. The issue here is
nothing like Kowalkiewicz. She fights. Does she fight does Marina Rodriguez fight like Kowalkiewicz?
No, that's not the point.
No,
she kind of does. No, she kind of does actually. Pressure fighting. Mahina Rodriguez is a pressure fighter.
But
she's a high pressure fighter.
Right, but is she a clinch specialist as well?
She has some clinch, but remember, like again, the clinch. That's where Grasso might lose his fight. I can see that, or maybe not. Maybe we never get to the clinch because Grasso just rocked on the feet.
I wouldn't. Look, I will say that I like Grasso's basic kickboxing because it's quite solid. But I haven't seen anything beyond that, and I haven't seen her been able to really back away someone like Kovalkiewicz. She's backed away other people, but I haven't seen her back away someone like Kovalkiewicz.
She's okay, fair enough. She's managed to stagger larger people than Kovalkiewicz.
Who?
Felice Herrig, Randa Marcos, Heather Clark. What?
Felice Herrig is not big. Like, I don't know.
She's larger than Kovalkiewicz, dude.
I don't know about that.
They fought. They already fought. Like, she couldn't stand against the onslaught of Kovalkiewicz. But she's large for the division. She is always Randa Marcos.
Okay, look here, right? So
just an inch.
Kovalkiewicz got knocked out by Jessica Andrade, right? But she ate flush Rose punches at the time when Rose was still, scaring off and hurting people like Paige Van Zandt. So, I don't think it's directly comparable.
It's not. But what I'm saying is that she won't represent some kind of physicality that Grasso hasn't felt with. No, that's the argument for Grasso.
But she's lost when she's fought people with generally better physicalities.
I'm gonna mute you. I'm serious. We're done. This fight is done talking. We're done.
Oh, fair enough. I'm picking Grasso.
But I got 30 seconds of talking.
Right, but we also spoke about this fight when we completely didn't get to speak about Ricardo Lamas versus Calvin Kattar, which honestly is a way more interesting fight to me.
Not to me. Shut up.
But yeah, I'm picking Calvin Kattar to beat Ricardo Lamas.
I'm not because Hoberism. I'm picking Ricardo Lamas.
You suck.
No, I get you. Kattar is likely going to win. Fuck it.
Well, no, I mean, who's the last good wrestler we've seen Kattar fight? I don't remember seeing him fight a good wrestler.
When was the last time that we considered Ricardo Lamas a good wrestler?
I don't know, 2 fights ago.
What? Why?
No, he's okay.
I mean, he survived against Mirsad Bektik on the ground. If you can do that, then you are definitely better than average.
Hold on. That makes him a grappler. I never said he's a bad grappler. I said he's not a good wrestler offensively.
Oh, fair enough. But, I mean, still, I haven't seen Kattar beat someone like that yet. At least unproven like that. So, it's a big question that I don't know how to answer. So, I don't know how to pick this, if I'm honest. If it was just a stand-up fight, I'd pick Kattar, honestly. But because it's not, and because of how opportunistic Ricardo Lamas is, I don't know how to pick this.
It's not like Lamas is a big shot guy just for the sake of shooting. He'll usually shoot only when it's kind of there. Only.
Yeah, but we haven't seen Kattar fight someone like that. Well, I haven't seen at least.
What I'm saying is that Lamas is more like a I'll just shoot whenever. It's rare to see him actively search for takedowns. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I hear you. Then again, Lamas looks very Mexican.
Yeah, well, like I said, it's a big question for me, and I don't know how to really predict this fight because of it. I can't picture I can't picture anything, to be honest. It's just a really big question that I don't know how to answer.
I honestly think Kattar will knock him out.
Oh, that's interesting.
I think it'll be I think it's second round knockout. And I think it'll be a clean knockout too.
Oh, it wouldn't be surprising, but like I said, it's just a bit of a question for me to really ignore.
All right.
Yeah, I can see it.
It's been a long ass episode, but thank you so much for joining us today.
Root for Grasso.
Yeah,
Root for her. Root for
yeah, yeah.
her.
I'm gonna root for her only because I
Emotional support.
just really.
No, she.
Guys,
Yeah.
anything you want to say before we go?
Viva Mexico, Viva
Um,
Lobo.
Ben is wrong. I'll go with that.
No, he's not wrong.
I
Like,
think we agreed on like 95% of things this episode, but all right. I guess I'm wrong. Thank you all so much for joining.
hey, next week maybe you get to beat Teddy Atlas. Maybe you're the only guy that saw answer of winning the fight to a very specific set of circumstances, and if you're that guy, you totally have to come here and fucking gloat. If not, you don't mention it again.
I'm never going to mention it again. Also, I do want to point out that the Bloody Elbow Civil War is starting hopefully next week. We're going to have the draft hopefully Tuesday night. Please join us for the fun. Follow us on Twitter at MixedMartialAngst.
Wait, maybe you should explain what that is.
Basically
Yeah.
basically an MMA fight fantasy league on Bloody Elbow. Bloody Elbow Civil War. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, that's fucking short. Like, don't become an admin. Don't work in everything.
Follow us on Twitter at MMAngstP. Follow us on SoundCloud, Mixed Martial Angst Podcast. Same on YouTube. Follow, share, like, tell your friends. We love you. And we just wanted to also thank you for all the support always.
Yeah, and don't forget to tell your friends that we love you. We love you.
We love all,
Yeah,
even those who haven't listened to us yet.
even in unhealthy ways, we love you.